What is going on, everybody? Zyonik here, and in today's video we're just going to take a look at some strategies you can implement in this new tournament, the Kingdom Cup. And this tournament is the first time where we have literally seen a massive scale of rock, paper, scissors when it comes to your Pokemon Go team. So what I mean by that is there are so many counters for every Pokemon that is going to be available in this tournament that it's going to be really important for you to find a balance. Now, when I say find a balance, obviously your 6-man team will want to have a balanced lineup, but you actually need a very balanced team when it comes to your actual 3-man team. So we're going to take a look at 2 3-man teams as examples for you guys, why they are balanced and how they perform well, and we're going to show you guys actual games and them performing very well for me. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the latest PvP content. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So at the top there, you can see that we have Charizard, Lapras, and Lucario. And this team, I think, is not as tanky as some teams could be, but it is very strong. So Charizard having a weakness to some common Pokemon we will see, like maybe Bastiodon or Altaria, or maybe something with heavy water moves, maybe like a Lapras. We're going to need other team members to support Charizard by protecting him. So Lucario, going to be very strong against Lapras and Bastiodon. Lapras, going to be able to do super effective damage to Bastiodon. Even though Bastiodon will do super effective damage back to Lapras, you can still get a Surf Off made to finish off that Bastiodon. And then Lapras having a weakness to Lucario, which is a huge threat in this tournament. Charizard will be able to cover that Lucario threat. And then having Lucario is just, it's huge for this tournament, guys. He is so strong and he can sweep teams if you set him up correctly. So that's just a kind of look at one team that's kind of balanced and you guys can use and practice with to figure out how it works for you. Now, there are so many different options you guys can choose. Literally, you could have a pool of 12 Pokemon, choose 3 that balance each other very well, go into battles, and see that because they're balanced, they will perform well. So, at the bottom, another good team is going to be Steelix, Lucario, and Altaria. And Lucario being weak to that Charizard, to that Blaziken, Altaria will be able to help cover that, and also Steelix being so bulky, getting off a crunch, possibly to finish off one of those squishier Pokemon that will kill a Lucario, is going to be very good. And then on top of that, Altaria being weak to Bastiodon, which is going to be a big Pokemon in this tournament. We are going to see that Steelix absolutely walls a Bastiodon. It walls a Bastiodon. It does very well against a Alolan Marowak. It does well against Pokemon like Frostlass. So as you guys can kind of see there, there's a balance when it comes to your team, and if you sway to one side or the other, meaning you don't have so much of a rock, paper, scissors, you have maybe rock, rock, paper, you will find that if you can't cover that scissors, you will kind of get swept. And you will see that here in these practice games where it's really close if it's very rock, paper, scissors, or if you don't have an answer for it, you get swept. Jumping right into this first match, we're going to go ahead and lead with Charizard, and he leads with Blaziken. Alright, so this is a pretty decent matchup for us. We can definitely get to those Dragon Claws before he can get to his Sky Attack. But he switches out into Frostlass, which is still another great Pokemon for us to fight against. We're going to go ahead and get that Blast Burn off. He shields it. We're going to go ahead and shield this. It could be Avalanche or Shadow Ball. It's Avalanche. We shield it. We're going to go for this Dragon Claw to really try to get some quick damage off or make him shield. So we do get the quick damage off. Take out the Frostlass. So his last Pokemon, he can either bring that Blaziken back out or he brings in Steelix. Now Steelix being weak to fire, this Blast Burn, if he doesn't shield it, it'll do a ton of damage. So Charizard already doing a ton of damage to Steelix, burning that shield, and Charizard having a favorable matchup against 3 of his Pokemon, which is why I was talking about the rock, rock, paper instead of rock, paper, scissors. So we go ahead and bring in Lucario. We're going to go ahead and shield this Earthquake. And now Lucario being having a lot of stored energy, we're going to go ahead and get off the Shadow Ball versus the Blaziken, and that is going to finish the round. So this is why I emphasize, guys, you really want to have a balanced team or a strategy behind your team based on what your opponent has. Now, obviously, these are practice matches. We are all trying things out, so this is not a competitive battle where we know what we're going to use. So in the second match, I lead with Steelix, he leads with Charizard. So I'm in a losing battle, so I'm going to go ahead and bail out of there into Altaria. I'm going to shield this Dragon Claw because I know it's going to do super effective damage to me. And there's another Dragon Claw coming, but I can't burn that second shield with just Dragon Claws. We're going to let Altaria soak this. He swaps out into Steelix, so we're going to go ahead and just get this Sky Attack off, and we're going to try to do as much damage as we can with that Dragon Breath. So we just keep going. He's going to do a Crunch, so we're just going to let Altaria go down. That's okay. Now we're going to bring in Lucario, and Lucario being able to have a Steelix that he can really ramp up his power-up punches is going to be very strong. So we're going to go ahead and store a bunch of energy. Now this next Pokemon, we're going to go right into power-up punch. Now Charizard being a direct counter to Lucario, this isn't very favorable to us. So we have no shields left here, but his Dragon Claw isn't going to finish us off. We're going to get another power-up punch, and this is what's going to happen. This is why Lucario is so strong. Because we got that other power-up punch, he can do a lot of damage with his counters, and getting a third power-up punch, burning that last shield, we do nearly half of Frostlass's health. We come in with Steelix with a Crunch, which is going to do super effective damage, nearly finish off the Frostlass, but he gets off a final Shadow Ball, and it is just barely not enough to finish me, and that match was super close. So a very good game there. We're going to move into another game. And in this match, we're leading with Altaria. He's leading with Lucario. So I kind of like this matchup. Even though Lucario can win, Altaria is kind of a neutral pick against the Lucario, especially with that Sky Attack. If he doesn't shield it, the Lucario will go down. So we're just spamming Dragon Breaths here. He stored a bunch of energy, got out of there into Bastiodon. I swapped right into Lucario, and this is very favorable to me. I'm going to get this power-up punch and start really ramping up his damage. We burn his last shield, so this is even better. He has no shields. I have a Lucario with 2 shields, and I already have 1 power-up punch ready to go, so we are just going to store energy and eliminate the next Pokemon that comes in. It is Marowak. We get another power-up punch off. We still have another shield, guys, so we're going to go straight for Shadow Ball. There is no doubt about it. We're going to shield this move coming in, which is a Shadow Ball. We're going to go ahead and get Shadow Ball off. It's going to eliminate that Alolan Marowak, and then he brings in his Lucario. That's okay. Ours is going to go down to that Shadow Ball. That's all right. We have Altaria and Steelix still left. So we're going to bring in Steelix. He's going to do a power-up punch here, take us down pretty low, but we are going to be able to get that last second Crunch to finish off the Lucario. So that is a good game. So moving into the final game of the night. And this is why I emphasize balance, guys. You really want to find a team that's balanced, that checks each other's weaknesses. So we go Lapras versus Lapras. He has Water Gun Lapras, I have Ice Shard Lapras, so I lose in this matchup because Water Gun is going to do a lot of better damage than Ice Shard on the Lapras mirror match. I try to swap out of there. I do swap into Lucario. So we're going to go ahead and shield and really start ramping up those power-up punches to try to get a lot of counter damage. He does switch out into Alolan Marowak, but instead of using power-up punch, we go straight for the Shadow Ball to psych him out, and it worked. He thought I was going to do a power-up punch, so that Shadow Ball was able to do a ton of damage. We try to get that power-up punch off, but it's not enough. We bring in Charizard. We're not going to shield this power-up punch, and we're just going to finish off Lucario with a fast attack. Now he has 1 more Pokemon left with 2 shields, and it is going to be Lapras. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to burn shields with this Dragon Claw, because I know that my Lapras, having more health than his, is going to be able to win the mirror match. So we go ahead and swap back into Lapras. We have a Surf. He already used 1 shield. Now he's going to burn his second, and we still have a second Surf ready to go. We get the Surf off, And as you guys can see, we can go ahead and just shield right, or we don't have to shield right here actually. We can just store up some energy, and if we need to, like right here, we're gonna go ahead and shield and then use surf to finish off this round. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something from watching these matches and seeing the Pokemon and how they work together. So what I would encourage you guys to do is to go find the Pokemon that are on your team and really try to figure out the checks and balances, what one is weak to and what Pokemon you can use to cover that weakness. And you'll start to see teams really start to form. You'll see the Steelix Altaria Lucario, you'll see maybe Lapras Altaria Lucario, stuff like that. So I hope you guys find your teams, and I hope you guys perform really well in your battles, in your testing, and in your guys' tournaments. So like always guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.